This is the 177th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the first week of June 2007. No, wait, 2014. It's been that long since we've done a podcast. I was dividing by 7. This episode is titled Hands Up. As you can tell, I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me for the 177th time, back from his 15-week vacation / honeymoon / vacation / eating fest. If you know him on any of the social networks, you saw nothing but pizza. Justin, newly married Edelstein, same last name?
Didn't change.
Oh, that'd be so good with the change.
I wasn't posting pictures on Twitter. I was only Instagramming them.
All right. Well, for all of you who want to see what he was eating and make him post stuff. Oh, only Instagramming. Well, that's as public as public can be, isn't it?
I don't know. No, I don't really have very many followers on there.
Right, but if I go follow you, I think I can see anything you post. All right.
Twitter's pretty public.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think you can make your Instagram private.
Yeah.
The wife's is private.
You don't know if...
I know you can.
The wife's? Nice. Well, welcome
she moved
back.
From the little lady. Buenos Aires.
Oh, yes, your time
I learned like 3 words.
Excellent. Pizza?
Pizza, please.
So for all of those who are frequent listeners, you know that we had this great plan set forth in motion that we were going to do all this recording and release it, and that plan fell apart because of many different things. Basically, the crunch time before Justin left for his honeymoon in a personal and in both a work aspect was very difficult. And CloudFocus Weekly, while we love you, you are probably the lowest priority of everything we do. So that's how you know when we get to it, we've had a good week or so. This week, we are going to try to cover some of the things that we missed over the last couple weeks, but we're going to leave a bunch of stuff to cover next week because there's lots of news. So this week, we have a couple plugs. We actually have 3 plugs in a row. Should have called this just plugging along. And then we'll talk about really the big news of the last couple weeks in the Salesforce world is Microsoft and the Salesforce announcement, which, I think get some people kind of thinking something. So we'll talk about that. Well, then we'll make our CloudFocus app picks of the week because we know you've been dying for those. And then next week we'll come back and we'll have a whole bunch of other things to discuss, as well as maybe a little bit of our voyage, which we're going to do at the end of this week. So, are you ready?
I'm ready as I'm going to be.
Oh, God, it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one.
Here we go. Justin's as ready as he's going to be.
Yeah, that means I'm pretty much, I'm in the room.
So first thing.
There's a mic in front of me.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug a resurrection of the Dreamforce portal Getting Things Done group. So
nice.
That was in the Dreamforce portal, which when the Dreamforce portal died and was killed, they opted not to bring over any of the groups, any of the content, anything.
Right.
So it literally disappeared. And I had built out a nice group for people who follow Getting Things Done, GTD, and I had put lots of content in there, files and stuff. It all went away.
Goodbye.
So I took it while you were away, and I noticed
what you did,
and
I saw what you did there.
I did a couple shout outs, a couple funny things. Well, tell them what I did.
Well, you backloaded a lot of stuff, and then you put some videos up there, some Merlin Mann stuff. Gotta love me some Merlin Mann.
Yep.
His writing ability is fantastic. His speaking even better. Did you when you did this, just so others who may want to do this in the future.
So this is in the success. So I
you did it. I know where you did it. You
community.
did it in the new success community,
yes.
the Salesforce community.
Right. It wouldn't be a plug if I didn't tell people where to go.
That's where it is. Go search in groups for Getting Things Done. You'll find it. I'm sure if you type in GTD, you'll also find it.
I'm very good at SEO.
You can also find Jason, and you'll find it that way too. But I bet it's easier to find the group than it is to find the real Jason.
By the way, sorry.
Come on.
No. I got a great idea for the idea exchange. Maybe I'll put up small URLs for success profiles.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right? Success.something.Jason Atwood or whatever. Or, Salesforce, success.salesforce.com/Jason Atwood. So I could, like Twitter, like anything, you have your small URLs that you can kind of hand out to say, come follow me there.
Yeah,
that'd be
a good idea.
All right.
I think you should put that in the idea exchange.
I might.
So for those who are actually thinking about doing this, first off, when you did this, did you look... Well, you didn't have the ability to look back into the Dreamforce portal, but Did you try and remember some of the folks that were engaged or anything and add them yourself, or did you just throw it out there and say, here it is, come rejoin if you can?
Yeah, I decided not to do that because if I had racked my brain, I could have, but I thought I think adding people to groups, unless you just know that they want to be in it, is not a good idea.
Or if it's a private group being put together for a specific purpose.
Yeah, so I just started it again. I did cross-post it into the productivity group.
That makes sense.
It's
productive.
And I have a bunch of followers in the community. I think this is one of the places where having the Power of Us hub separate and not its own private group or whatever it needs or whatever it should be, or subgroup or subgrouping, kind of makes it like I'm not going to go do another one over there.
Too fractured.
Right. And if I went over there and posted it, I might get yelled at because it's not Power of Us hub enough. So I'm like, it's where it gets broken off. But no, I did not. I started with one person. It was just me, and it grew over a couple of days, and people who I recognize. And
I'm in there.
Yes, I know. But I didn't even. I think I shot it in our personal.
You did it in our chatter and said, "Hey, I resurrected this group. If everyone wants to join, go ahead and join."
Right.
So
I'll tell you what got me started was which might be my pick of the week. So I'm not even going to pick it. I'm going to wait.
Good idea.
All right. Our next plug of our 3 plugs, Dreamforce registration. Prices have gone up. We still have a code you can use to get $100 off all the way up until the beginning. It works for nonprofits as well, so it'll get you the $100 off. The code is EC14 Arkus. So EC14 Arkus, all one word. That will get you $100 off. You can use that code to register for Dreamforce. That's our only plug.
How do you spell Arkus?
ARKUS.
Is that how you spell it?
Yes, it is.
I was wondering.
Are you making a joke because for a moment, because we found a competitor, or I guess someone who has using the real Arkus Cloud name, and for a second I was like, did we use the C or the K? But
you had to look at your shirt.
I had to look at my shirt.
Your shirt says Arkus on it.
It does.
You literally had to look down at your chest to see how to spell the name of your own company.
Underneath this is a tattoo. It's the exact same thing. So, like, even if I take off the shirt off, it's tattooed right on there. Yeah.
I have a tattoo. They spelled it wrong.
With a C?
I don't tell anyone about it.
Don't look on it. They use the wrong Pantone colors. It's just very terrible. Terrible.
I need a cover up immediately.
And our last plug, because you have been gone and someone asked us to, and now I'm forgetting who asked me to.
It was Eric.
Oh, yes, it was Eric. He said, could you plug the Midwest Dreamin, which is a get together, I guess a community event, summer event, or a Salesforce community event called Midwest Dreamin. I'm just reading now. Is coming to Chicago's historic Navy Pier on July 10th. Peter Coffey, a really great speaker.
He's great. If you do have a chance if you do have a chance to go see Peter Coffey speak, not as just the pre-keynote interview guy, but as a real keynote speaker, he's fantastic.
Right. They're going to do a Cloud Expo. They're going to do it's an event by the community for the community. It's not a Salesforce thing.
Awesome.
So it's kind of fun. So that's July 10th in Chicago. I was thinking, can I go? I don't know. Maybe I'll try to see if I can go. But if you want to find out more about it, go to Midwest Dreamin. That's dreamin.com. So it's not dreaming, it's dreamin.
Good stuff.
And you can register and find out more about it. So there's your plug. It should be fun. Peter Coffey's showing up. It's a good reason to even to go.
Absolutely. And it was Eric Dreschfield, right?
Yes.
Who sent it to us?
Yes. I'm apparently very good with names because my own company name, I got to look at my chest to figure out how it's spelled. And it has. I had to look again. It only has 5 letters. So there you go.
Less letters, the better.
Arkus.
You can get more into the tweet.
That's true. And you never have to worry. I was thinking about it today as I was walking down. I was like, Arkus. No one doesn't pronounce it right.
Right.
When you look at a word
with a K, it's a hard sound.
Right.
K is hard.
And you can't pronounce.
C can go any different
We put
ways.
an umlaut over the U. It could be Arkus.
That'd be neat.
Yeah. Or maybe
why didn't we do that?
Our European division. Arkus opens up their new office in Belgium. Arkus. All right. Next up is really, again, there was lots of big news, but the biggest and kind of, I guess, most fractured or talked about news in the last week or so is and I'm air quoting now, the partnership between Microsoft and Salesforce. Right on the heels of the partnership, actually was camping with a guy who works for Oracle, so there was a lot of discussion about the Oracle Salesforce partnership.
Oh, yeah, I know this man.
Yeah, you know this man. Not a fun conversation. Where he also told me, anyway.
Well, he probably actually has some very good insight on the topic. I'm sure. No,
you would be wrong. Yeah.
He doesn't have good insight on the topic. I mean, he works there at Oracle.
Yes, he is. He's a
now,
sales
whether he
engineer.
has good things to say or bad things to say, I'm sure he has some things that we don't know about to say.
It was camping with a bunch of
you guys were
doing that. So it was not a in-depth conversation on the benefits and.
No, I mean maybe he would know something about it that people or the press, people like us who don't really know a whole lot about it.
Wait, we're not in the press.
No, we don't get press badges for Dreamforce, do we? We're not.
No, we
thought
not in the one year that we should have been because we're podcasters and we should have gotten blogger passes.
We should have gotten blogger passes.
But then you got into the MVP and then you kind of got special treatment anyway. And then we're like, forget it.
Yeah.
Like we already got the special treatment.
In the bullpen there.
Yeah, but I think we sit in better seats anyway. So what's
probably
the point?
Not to rub it in, but we are in the front row.
The only thing that would be nice is we would get the table.
Oh yeah,
because then you get the laptop and the table,
the iPod or the iPad right there on the table,
and then you don't have to like sit with it in your lap,
right?
While they're doing another.
And I bet they get like a different network to connect to.
I bet you they get hard coded or
hardwired or something, because otherwise it's very spotty.
Oh, terrible. Dreamforce.
That's for another day.
Use EC14 Arkus. Sorry, I brought it back there. So let's talk about this.
I don't get the partnership.
Oh, I do.
I don't really get like why it's a partnership. I see why, from a Microsoft and Salesforce perspective, the whole thing makes sense. I mean, Microsoft still really owns a lot of the enterprise when it comes to productivity tools, and I'm air quoting productivity.
Yeah.
SharePoint, Office 365, whatever it is, and you have the Office suite on your desktop. You have Outlook, you got Word, you've got Excel, PowerPoint. These things aren't going away. OneNote. To be able to tie into those things tighter and to be able to build the integrations with them in a partnery kind of way makes a whole lot of sense for everybody, right? Because Salesforce is very, very, very much prevalent in the enterprise at this point, and the tools should work together. Back in the olden days, they used to work better together than they do now, which makes no sense.
Right.
You used to have a really nice plug-in with Excel and Salesforce, and now it's like sort of an afterthought. It also, with the push of Salesforce 1 and it not working on the Windows mobile environment, it just doesn't make sense. Like
right.
It should work in the Windows mobile environment. People are gonna have Windows phones. It's gonna happen, and it's also gonna happen in the enterprise. So you're gonna lose on deals if you're like, no, we work on iOS and Android, and the bigwig at company whatever is like, yeah, but we're gonna standardize on Windows Phone because it ties into all the other Windows stuff that they're doing.
Although if you watch the WWDC, which you didn't,
or
we did,
we'll table that for next week.
I'd be standardizing on.
It looks like Apple's making an enterprise play, but anyway, the Microsoft is getting in there. They're doing things to on the phone and with the new OS that make a lot of sense to me, and they should be aligned. I don't really see where this is like a partnership where I feel like it's just like, yeah, we're gonna make our stuff work together.
Oh, but that
I guess that's
a partnership. As someone who just got married, just want to let you know that making your stuff work together is kind of like the thing apart. No, to me, this is a standoff that's got to come to a semi-mutual agreement, because these are two companies that aren't fighting for the same market share dynamics, cloud infrastructure, CRM, mobile. I mean, they're all over each other. There's some areas where they're not, right? OS,
not so much mobile. I mean, I don't really see where they compete necessarily mobile.
I think Salesforce wants to rule the mobile productivity space for companies,
but they're not at an OS level.
No, they don't want to be.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Like Microsoft wants to be that.
I think this is this is just Salesforce saying, hey, we want to get some stuff out of you, and Microsoft being like, yeah, well, we'd like to get a little. Microsoft just announced there too. They just announced their new Microsoft Cloud, which is their new, right? Everything is cloud. It's just so funny because they're sort of back to where they were a while ago. But so they're in Microsoft. I think this is like giving legitimacy to their cloud. They've also relaunched Office 365, which is their mobile version or web version of Office, and all the licensing that goes along with that. They relaunched the iOS. They went iOS with Microsoft. So I mean, you could, or their Office suite. So you can see that they're pushing into areas that normally, and maybe under Ballmer, just were not places they would go. But they're kind of making agreements with companies that, while they are fighting each other, they have a mutual agreement to do things good together. Salesforce wants to work better with the Office suites. They know they have to. They know that's better.
It's better for them to work well with the Microsoft Office applications.
That's right. And and Outlook and all that.
They're not going away.
Right.
They're not going
so
anywhere.
This is an interesting push. I also, my undertone to this, the thing that I think is underneath this that I'm not happy about is I think this is a shot across the bow of Google.
Could be.
Because whereas Google and Salesforce announced great partnerships a long time ago, that partnership has kind of dissolved and gotten worse and worse and worse, and hasn't gone anywhere.
Talk about two companies that should absolutely just like natively work together,
right? And
they don't.
They
did, and now they don't,
and it's gotten worse.
Right.
It used to be better 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Why shouldn't your Salesforce calendar and your Google calendar just natively sync?
Right, click of a button.
Yeah.
Right.
Why is there a Salesforce for Outlook that does all this syncing to a client app, but cloud to cloud nothing?
Yeah.
You have to use somebody else's tool set, which is great. And developers out there have done great jobs with connecting the two platforms, but these are things that really should be handled at a enterprise level.
So to me, this is a throw that way. That this is a sort of, hey, look, we're going to partner with other people. You're not the only one ruling the cloud Office suite anymore. Because they were. Google was, the only one ruling in the cloud of the Office suites, and Zoho and whatever.
Come on, Zoho.
No. So I think it's interesting because this gives more credibility to Microsoft than it does to Salesforce. I think it does because it gives credibility to them as a player in this space. It's almost like saying, okay, you can come play in this game now. Because for up to this point, they've really been kicked out. It's like, yeah, Zero, yeah, Office, yeah, whatever. You're kind of out of the space. Salesforce has been kicking your butt in CRM for a long, long time. I think this is interesting. It's kind of saying to them, okay, you come on into the club a little bit. Hey, you're the new guy, but this is Microsoft, the company that ruled, and now they're kind of having to reimagine themselves. And
I think the mobile has even more to do with it than we think.
I think for Salesforce getting onto their mobile,
got to get on there.
I think that's why they're doing this.
Have to get on there.
This and the Office. That's what they get out of it. Yes. Salesforce gets to get on their mobile in a tied in, get access to the architecture, get access to the developers.
Got to get on there. I mean, it's great to be on Android and it's great to be on iOS. And a year ago, I would have said, who cares about Windows Phone? But at this point, I think if you're gonna say you're mobile, but you have to be on all of the platforms that people are going to use.
It's not Windows Phone. It's Surface. That's where they want to make this
but
play.
It's the whole...
is Surface mobile or not?
Kind of like...
Is it mobile or not?
Sort of yes, sort of no. But
Surface 3?
It's whatever. You need to be on Windows 8, whatever.
That's a bit.
On whatever device it's running on.
So I think that's where it gets really interesting to me, is that... And as a sort of Salesforce purist, I feel a little bit like, really? First Oracle, now Microsoft? These guys, there's a great quote in this article, of Benioff in a January interview. He said, this is what he said about they said about Microsoft.
6 months ago.
They're a follower, not a leader. They continue to just follow. He said that they should just push the reset button on vision. The whole concept of Windows everywhere was a really interesting mantra 20 years ago, but doesn't work today, and it's led them down dark paths to products that are not any good. 5 months later, Microsoft is partnering with Salesforce, who's, so I think it's interesting. I think Salesforce had the upper hand in this one, whereas Oracle, I think, probably didn't. I think that was more equal. I feel like this one...
That just seemed like a purchase.
What, like a purchase order for each one? You purchase a lot of our equipment, and we will publicize it, and you guys can...
Use it.
Yeah. So we'll see. There's also a piece about the Salesforce apps running on Windows Azure.
Interesting.
I don't know what that means.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like that's kind of like that one of these like lines that could have all this ramification under that we don't know what they are.
It could be a safe harbor line that means literally nothing.
Literally nothing.
Because we've seen things years in advance of, and then never see them.
Right.
You hear about them, you see them, they're talked about, and then they disappear completely off the face of the planet.
Yeah. Or turn into something totally different later.
Yeah.
So, interesting enough, we do have summer 14 release notes in our dirty little hands.
We do.
I, for the first time ever, I think, were the first person to read them. So I think I'm ahead of you in this.
They came out when I was away, and I just wasn't going to download them or anything like that.
I have them mocked up. I have them locked. I'm ready to talk about them.
You know, I was trying to play with the HTML version of them, and it just wasn't working, and it was frustrating me. So then I grabbed the PDF and started reading it. I can tell you where I am because I have it open. I haven't closed it. I'm let's see. This is very, very interesting podcast content right now, isn't it? I'm on page 100 of 327. So I'm like a third of the way through.
Barely.
But I'm reading them, so,
I will say, one of the things about the notes that I've noticed this time, and maybe it's been the last couple times, but as I was reading them and going through them, there's a lot of, like, you say something, and then you say it again, and then you say it for the third time.
They repeat it. They basically, in each section, they outline it.
Yeah.
And then they get to it.
Right.
And then they sort of, like, they outline it at the very, very beginning. Then you get to the section, they outline it again, and then you finally get to the feature.
Right.
I feel like that's like a getting ready for HTML notes thing where like you have to sort of have these sections so you could click on them and expand or open or however that's going to work.
It's summary.
I was just pissed because I was trying to look at the HTML version and it wasn't quite working. Like nothing was opening. So,
I tried the HTML version. I thought it was cool, but PDF still.
For me, it wasn't working.
You just
so
scroll.
I was like,
keep scrolling. 327
cool.
pages. So we will start. The Blogmaster is back. We will start to actually do.
I'm writing it. I'm writing the this week.
Okay, there you go.
It'll be up next week.
It'll be up next week.
Rapid.
We also
not so rapid review.
We also have a bunch of blog posts in the hopper, and a few that might get published somewhere else that we're going to talk about.
Right.
So until that happens, I'm not going to talk about it, but it might get published somewhere else.
By the way, I know we're kind of like wrapping or getting close to getting to the picks. Before we do that, I just wanted to mention something quick.
Yeah.
Because I know we like to talk about, television and streaming and things like that. So the first season of Silicon Valley ended last night. So the whole first season is now complete. So you can watch it now because you can plow through the whole season.
Okay. I'm finishing up Mad Men.
Excellent.
Really?
Anyone who listens to this podcast will love that show. Not only is it very funny, it is on topic for this audience, yourself, myself, everyone who's listening. You'll absolutely love it. It's funny. You'll get the inside jokes that some people won't get. Like I had to explain some thing. Like
your wife?
Yeah, she's like, "Is that a real thing?" I'm like, "Yes, that's a real thing." Or like maybe that it's not a real. A lot of it's very satirical about like developers and startups and entrepreneurial like Silicon Valley type stuff. It's very, 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 very funny.
Wait,
so
how
it's
many
on
areas was that?
It's on HBO. You can stream the whole series on HBO Go, or at least the whole first season. It's now finished.
Okay.
So I would recommend you and anyone listening check that out if you can.
I will put it in my Evernote actually as we speak.
Put it in there. Silicon Valley, you'll love it. It's
I have
really
my
funny.
TV shows to watch. Any reason I shouldn't hold off for them to do another one?
I think they've already re-upped for another season.
So that's one of the. So I'm a second season guy. Like, I want you to be halfway in the second season and telling me that's really awesome.
Go for it.
Why?
It's totally worth it to watch it.
I got so much to watch, though.
It's because I think you'll really like. I think you'll really
when
like
I watch it. When I will really, really like it next year.
I guess, but I think it's one of those things that is sort of because remember it's about startups and technology.
Is it present day? I thought it was in the past.
No, it's now. So you might want to watch it now.
So they are making jokes that are current?
Correct.
Like, did you see what Mark Benioff just did?
Not quite. Oh. They're all fictional characters, but
I'm sure it's lots of Apple and Microsoft jokes.
You want to watch it now.
All right. I just put it into my TV shows to watch. Looks like I'll never get to Cougar Town because of this one.
I think you'll be okay.
All right, let's get to so again, we have so many topics to top. We will try to, since some weeks we actually have nothing to talk about, we now have a backlog, and we'll go back and start talking about things. Like summer, we'll do a bunch on summer 14. We just watched the WWDC keynote.
Tons of stuff out of there.
I was trying to pay full attention, but I am going to have to watch it again because there was a lot of stuff. So I'd rather not just talk about it.
I'm going to watch it when I get home, actually.
Oh, I think I'm going to put it on my iPad and take it with me.
Oh, I'm going to watch it
for a plane flight
at home, not on plane flight. Just when I get home later today.
Okay, that's odd, but okay.
Why is that so odd?
That's odd.
I'll just put it on the Apple TV and watch it.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, whatever you want.
I had a question for you actually about some stuff, but I'll take that off the air.
You're gonna
about like renting movies on iTunes and how it works because I had a little issue with it.
You tried renting a movie, taking it with you, and you couldn't watch it.
All right, so now we're talking about it. I rented Her.
Right.
On my iPad.
Yes.
Downloaded it to the iPad.
Yes.
For the go. Didn't end up watching it on the honeymoon.
Okay.
Wanted to then watch it yesterday on the television, on the Apple TV, and it was like, you have no rentals.
You could have just gone and just
I know I would have had to AirPlay it.
Yeah.
But AirPlay was not functioning very well yesterday. There was something wrong.
Okay.
So
it's because you're married. Things stopped working.
Something stopped working. I was actually, note to Apple, a little upset about that. If I rent something, it's my account. Let me watch it. Don't stop it.
It basically says though, no, because it basically says when you rent it, actually, if you read the little
to this device,
it says,
so annoying.
It says you're renting this on this device and to watch it on this device. It says it on Apple TV too.
Really annoying because it's my account. You know it's me. Let me just watch it.
I totally hear you, except for that's been a very long-standing thing with rental movies on Apple TV.
I don't care. You don't need to defend them.
It's because
I'm right,
they share it. You're not
wrong.
right. You're still wrong. You're always wrong.
I'm right. They're wrong. Let's get to our apps.
Let's see what else you're wrong about. I cannot believe you're making this.
This
pick.
is a great pick
for about 4 people
who can get to this restaurant. Well, it's actually back-ended by something else, and I don't know what that thing is. But anyway,
is it Salesforce?
No.
Is it Azure?
No.
By the way, don't name your product that when you look at it, you can't figure out how to pronounce it.
Azer. That's how I say it, but I know I'm wrong.
Oh, so the guy who from Oracle, rat hole. The guy who from Oracle. I hope he's listening to this.
He does not listen to anything.
So he works at Oracle, and one of his clients, he said one of his clients that he works with is Bose.
Bose, really?
Yep, Bose.
Bose,
and I'm like, I said, so Bose,
like
I'm assuming, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, give me the oh, that's a big client. I'm like, so I think what you want me to do is react to the fact that you have a client that's Bose, but I'm really worried that you actually have a different client named Bose, which is really just with 3 E's and a Beyonce thing on the end of it.
Bozo.
So we got in this big discussion about whether it was actually pronounced Bose or Bose.
Oh, well, how do they pronounce it?
So that's what he's telling me is that the engineers in the office in Massachusetts pronounce it Bose.
Oh.
And I said, you're full of it because every commercial on the planet says Bose. And so if they was really Bose, they would say in the commercials, Bose. And I said, let's pick up the phone and call 1-800-BOSE, whatever, and see, do they say, hi, you've just called Bose?
Well, if they call it Bose, then he would call it Bose.
2 things. One, they're from Massachusetts, so I think it's the accent. It's like ka and beer.
No,
it's Bose.
That's a different accent.
And 2,
anyway, all right,
I think they're totally messing with him. I think
they could be messing with him.
I think they're trying to get him.
That is funny.
I would mess with
trying
to get him into arguments. So you will see this man in the fall. You need to make fun of him.
I will call him Bozo. Hello, Bozo. I'll be like, what are you talking about?
I just bought a bozo speaker.
I will wear my headphones. Like, check these bozos.
They're so good. All right, sorry.
So
We know this is why you tune in.
I frequent a restaurant. I guess you could call it a restaurant. It's a quick serve restaurant called Chopped here in New York, and I'm sure Chopped are all over the place. Chop apostrophe T. They make salads, very creative salads, very good salads. Part of my new lifestyle. I eat a little healthier these days.
Nice.
I like to eat a salad for lunch, and these are good salads.
They can
tasty.
be very, very unhealthy.
Oh,
salads.
they totally could
Okay.
be. I stay away from those.
I've seen people make them unhealthy.
Oh, yeah. You can definitely make a 1,500 calorie salad if you really want to.
Steak and chicken and shrimp.
Chicken, fried chicken, and buttermilk ranch and bacon, please.
Yes.
So you can totally...
But it's a salad.
But they're good salads.
They are good. I love them.
So they had a loyalty program, right? With a card. You probably have the card.
I do.
Yeah.
I was pissed off the other day just for this reason.
So they have abandoned the card.
Yes.
They have moved to an app.
Yes, they have.
So I'm picking the app because I love the app. Because the app does two things for me. One, it takes a card out of my wallet.
That I'm very happy with.
Love it. I don't need a card in my wallet. I go there 3 to 4 times a week. I don't need this card in my wallet.
That stopped working after a while.
I want to use it because every 9 salads or every 10 salads you get a free one, whatever.
On the card.
They have changed this. I actually think they've changed it for the better. So 1, the card's gone. 2, I get an app where I put in my credit card information, and all I have to do is take out the app, and it gives a little VR code, and I just hold it up to a thing, and boom, I've paid for my salad, and I've added credits to my rewards. Right. They've actually changed it. Instead of like every 9 salads you get a 10th free. Now it's every $100 you spend you get a $10 credit.
Right, but that's worse. That's $90. $90 to get a $9. It's now $100 to get. You have to spend more.
You have to spend more to get the thing, but
also,
whatever.
But okay,
really
so you
matter.
describe the app. It's Chopped.
The app is good. You can locate stores. You can do all sorts of stuff.
Well, that's BS apps. Here's my issue. Why are they making me pay through the phone app?
I don't think you have to, do you?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
I actually like that feature.
Why?
Because I want to.
But I arrive with my wallet. Unless this is going to replace my wallet, then I'm very happy. It's getting there.
That's the thing. I just want to pull out my phone, open an app, scan it, boom. I mean, that's what Starbucks does.
Yeah.
So, I just want that experience. I want to pull out one thing and get rewarded for being a customer and pay for the thing at the same time, and then walk out with my salad without having to pull my wallet out of my pocket.
I like that. Don't like that I'm getting in a scenario where I have a ton of apps, because this doesn't scale well. I have a ton of apps that have a ton of credit cards associated to them.
But sorry, I'm going to cut you off, and I'm sorry. I know you hate that. But this app, it does not need to be used as a standalone. It is part of a bigger platform that runs these programs, these loyalty programs. Okay. So when you go and you pay through the app, you will get emailed your receipt.
Yes, I love that.
And it will actually say on the receipt who it cleared through.
Okay.
And you'll see the company that it cleared through. And that company is the one that does this. And that's the platform that actually is the engine that can.
I totally get it. But I'm working towards a scenario where if I walk into a store now, my wallet has 2 or 3 credit cards in. I can pay with any 3 credit cards. If I go into a world of app-based purchasing, I have many apps, so let's call it 20 apps. On those 20 apps, I then have any number of credit cards, personal, Arkus-based, debit. I think my life, in terms of ease of pay for things, starts to go, while it's very easy to take out and pay for the app, when you change a credit card, when a credit card goes bad, when you need to replace it, your life becomes I've got to go through every one of these stinking apps and go redo this credit card process. So I like the idea, but I think there's something wrong with this it's a one to many, and it's going to get into a series where I'm going to have this crazy amount of things I have to keep track of.
Yeah. I mean, I totally see your
what
point.
I'm saying,
absolutely.
right?
And I also don't like the fact that if it's true that I can't just use it for loyalty and not pay with it.
Gotta pay with it.
I don't. Yeah, I can see why they want you to pay with it. I mean,
well, that's my question.
Racks up the money.
So is that what it is?
It must be.
Are they taking a lower cut on credit card numbers? Are they? What is it that they want to have my credit card? Because that's used to be a liability in the world of
I don't know. I mean,
credit card ownership.
I have a couple of these apps now that have my credit card sort of stored in them. The Way to Ride, the one with the cab,
great app,
awesome app. I use it constantly. I mean, I just used it,
but that offers
last week.
But that offers a lot of huge benefits.
Yes,
huge benefits.
Yes,
like walking away from a cab, not having to pay, setting your own tip rate.
The whole nine,
and it now has built into it has hail a cab into it, so it's
a great app,
tons of benefits. This doesn't seem to have, other than the loyalty piece. I feel like in a world where a Subway, I'm gonna have a Subway app with 4 credit cards on it. I'm gonna have this app with 5 credit cards.
Well, soon you're gonna have that thing that I got you.
Seamless. Well, then even that's crazy. But Seamless is the same thing. Here's what they need to do. If you're listening, companies because you listen to this, you need to create, like Apple, like I go into Apple and I put in my Twitter account on my iOS device. I put in my Twitter, right? And it locks my Twitter in. And then any app that I go to and it says, can we use your Twitter account? Right? I have a couple, Jason M. Atwood, whatever. I say, sure, you can use that Twitter account. Underneath, if I change the Twitter account, right, then they would then take that change, whatever that change was. So I feel like that's where this needs to go. At the iOS level, I could put in credit cards into a wallet, and then any app that wanted to grab a credit card, it could go. I would.
Well, now you're talking Apple and Google. You're not talking Chopped.
Yeah, I know, but then the credit card's at one level. And if I change it, all the apps could use it.
We're taking baby steps. We'll get there.
I think we're getting into an appification of credit. Now, what I do like about it is the other day I was out without my wallet.
This is the customer company, man. This is what Chopped wants. They want you on they want you on their app, not some generic thing.
Right? No, I want to be on their app, but I want to be able to give them a credit card without having to go through a separate, different process for every app to give them credit cards.
Well, anyway, that's
my pick. Is it a take a picture one?
Take a picture
of your credit card. Or you have to punch in the numbers.
No, you log in because you kind of like set it up online.
Oh, boosh!
Well,
you have to go online.
Registered. Well, you never registered.
You don't have to put your credit card online.
You just log in. I can't remember. Oh no, I think it is a pic. I can't remember. I did it a while back. I don't remember.
All right, so Chopped.
Anyway, I thought I would mention it because I think it's cool the way that they handled it, and it's it's a free app, but obviously you're buying stuff using it. So
it's a free app that you have.
The app itself is free.
Yeah. You don't have to put in-app purchases. Can you go in and purchase 15 salads?
No. When I open it, it just opens to a VR code. I'm sure I can get out of that somehow, but I don't.
Well, that's good design too. So it just goes right to the thing.
Well, it's bad design because it should have one level of security around it first, but whatever.
Well, hopefully that's on your phone.
Well, of course.
Touch ID.
It should have another layer.
WWC, Touch ID built into third-party apps.
Oh, I like Touch ID.
Bing. Yeah.
I like Touch ID a lot.
Third-party apps.
I like that. I like how Capital One handles it.
We're taking way too long for your pick.
Yeah. I Capital One handles it with once you log in on the mobile, it then has like you draw lines or whatever.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like you're already authenticated, you just have to draw your pattern.
Oh, okay.
So instead of typing in a password, you've already done that.
It's funny because QuickBooks does it on the iPad. They make you put the whole thing in again. On the iPhone, they make you put in a code. So you've done your username and password, and then you have to put in a PIN. So kind of like Salesforce has done it. So it's like a PIN on top of it because they know that people don't want to put in these big passwords. But I'm like, why on the iPad would you know that I want to put in a big password?
I don't want to put any passwords. Yeah, I want to draw things. I like the Capital One model. Anyway, what's your pick?
My pick.
You could go on forever about this. Are you sure you want to do this pick now?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, because it's the thing that inspired me to restart getting things done.
Do your pick. I'll go to the bathroom.
My pick is RunP. You've already picked an app that helps you go to the bathroom.
I picked RunP so I know when to come back from your picks.
Yeah, it's a RunP pick. I will not spend a lot of time on this.
I have 8 minutes.
Here's what I'm going to say. You don't have 8 minutes.
Oh, no. I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding with you.
So the reason I did this, that restarted the Getting Things Done group, it's not because I want to maintain another group in a success portal. It's because a long-standing application that I'm really, really big fan of, and a fan of the group, of the company. They put out Omnifocus 2 for the Mac, the desktop version. I'm going to give the 5-seconder for the people who don't know what Omnifocus is. Omnifocus is an app, a suite of apps built for the iOS platform and the Mac that is for managing tasks and projects, very built on the GTD promises, built by Merlin Mann. That's why it's another bright. It's got a long-standing thing. Built by a company, Omni Group, that's been around forever and actually developed on the Next platform. So that's why it's Mac only. Anyway, the more interesting story is that Omnifocus 2 is something they launched last year. In May of last year, they put out a public beta, and they got slammed. Crazy slam from people, they hated the design, whatever, and they literally shut the whole thing down. They went back to the drawing board. iOS 7 was launched. They took a lot of the stuff from iOS 7, and they came back and they did it a year later. It's an impressive thing for a company to know when you haven't got it right, and instead of just pushing forward and putting out a bad product, they literally just pulled it back, and they said, you know what, we're going to take a step back. They went back, they redid a couple other apps, and they came back and they did Omnifocus 2 for the desktop. It launched May 20, launched while you were away.
Yeah.
Differences, there's lots of new features in it, whatever.
I have to buy this, yes? It's
yes.
not a free update.
It's not a free update. Well, Omnifocus 1 came out 6 years ago.
So I bought
and
that
it's been
a
free upgrade since then. I think there's a upgrade from this for a low price. But anyway, there's 2 versions of it now. There's now a Pro, which is $79, and it's Standard, which is $39.
What's the difference?
There's a couple things in it. There is an upgrade path, so you can actually buy Standard and then turn on the Pro features to trial them. So it's really nice. So it is just one app. So I would say there's no reason to go buy Pro unless you know you want Pro. Now, I want Pro, so I buy Pro. But you could buy Standard. You can actually then trial Pro features within it, and then you can purchase it within it. So they've done a good job. It's got a lot of stuff. It's very neat. We're big Omnifocus users here at Arkus. And so I'm actually doing an internal workshop. Sorry you guys can't come. But I'm doing a what's new in Omnifocus 2. So you can wait for that. That's in 2 weeks. But that's my pick. So omnigroup.com. It's Omnifocus 2 for the Mac. If you don't, again, the one thing that they give away for free is they give away a free syncing service that syncs all your versions of Omnifocus together. So your iPad, your iPhone, and your thing, it syncs in there, what they call their OmniServer. So that's kind of like, it's a backup. It's whatever. It all syncs together. And that's really where it's the big powerful of this. You can capture on your phone, on your iPad. It all ends up somewhere. All right, Omnifocus 2. That's my pick of the week. I had to wait 3 weeks to pick that. Very, very excited.
Good for you.
I could not be more excited about an app.
I know you love it.
I tested
it's like your favorite app.
It was beta testing it for 2 months. I was getting they put out a new release because they were like on a nightly build. It came out every couple of hours. Like you could literally hit download a new version every couple of hours. It was cool to be on just like watching it basically be built in front of me as I downloaded new pieces. All right, well, that's it, kids. We are traveling the end of this week. We got a little Salesforce meetup that we're doing in San Francisco, which maybe we'll be able to talk about next week, which should be fun. There's probably a lot we won't be able to talk about, but that should be less than fun. Otherwise, we'll be back next week. If you're missing us greatly, you can follow Justin at Just Edelstein, hasn't changed his name yet, or his Twitter account after being married. You can follow me at Jason M. Atwood on Twitter. Arkus is on the Facebook at Arkus Inc. We're on the LinkedIn. We're on the Google+. We're on the iTunes if you want to subscribe. There is also a Stitcher page for CloudFocus Weekly if you want to start listening to us and putting reviews in Stitcher or iTunes. There's 2 places you can actually now review the podcast. So if you left a review in one place, go leave it in the other. Until next week, we'll be back. Justin, Jason, saying, as always, enjoy those cloudy days.